Morning, this is Michael at Bentech. Just wanted to make this short video, show you how to import a bump stop can and alter it in our software so that it's ready for nesting and cutting out on the Dragon. So first of all, in the Dragon CAD side of the software, you'll click the CAD import button and then select the tube model option. And then I've got a bump stop can here on my desktop. Open the step or IGES file. And then with any step or IGES file, things that can interfere with the overall defining of the project can include these small minute lines connecting the ID and the OD. And that would be any line that you see here in red. They can be blue, but basically your first task is to use the delete feature option and delete all those miniature lines, making sure not to click on any of the other lines that are important for defining the project. There's a bunch of lines here stacked up on top of each other. Just because I'm looking at it from this view, it is the best view to get this job done, just because you can see them easier. You don't have to go searching for them. But yeah, simply get rid of those, and then in the case of a bump stop, obviously it's one continuous cut all the way around, and so there won't be a start profile and end profile. It'll just be one or the other. It's considered a straight part, so we'll click the straight button and an outer line running down the length of the material. And then, as you can see, it's very confused on how to define this. So your main goal is just to clear these two and start over just by making a start profile with the exterior and interior. So click the exterior and one of the longest lines of the exterior of the material, and then the interior of the cut as well. Now, with bump stop cans, you're going to see this confusion with adding the shaded 3D rendering of the part. That's okay as long as you get your green profiles. This is the outer, this is the inner. As long as you have that all the way across the part, then you are good to go, and you'll be able to add your material by selecting this green button. I've already done this, so it recognizes the material. And then after that, you'll want to transfer it to the industrial part interface, just to make sure that you can get it to look right in the flat layout. In many cases, you have to go to the part details tab and uncheck these check boxes here, and that will show up with the true profile for the cut. This is correct, so I would transfer it to Dragon Cam. Dragon software will open and ask you if you want to send it to designer, nesting. Always send it to designer, and I'm about to show you why. Yes, use this machine. Now, when it's sent to designer, it still doesn't know what to do. Our software is not entirely made for this. So we'll go to the actions tab and remove the start cut and end cut actions, because obviously we only want one cut, and it's a start cut. Another thing we're going to do after we remove those with this button here is we're going to use this delete button and actually delete the raw geometry here. I select in the middle of this gap here because that is one straight line. Now we have two lines here, one down here, one here, and we're going to keep those. Obviously we do need those. And then we're also going to delete this raw geometry line indicating the end. So once we've done that, you can look at your part here and you're thinking, how do I track this, all in one cut? The answer is basically we have to move all of this geometry up here to meet up down here. So basically I just go to edit geometry, create, and then dimension. I take a couple dimensions here. First of all, the entire circumference of the tubing is 7.069. And so I want to take this point and move it all the way to this point. So this will be my anchor for all of this geometry up here. Let me show you how I will do that. We'll just go to edit and move and use the incremental move method. I'm also going to window select everything here. And we want to move it that 7.069 along the vertical axis. So it's going to be a negative 7.069. In that case, we would select all of this and move it down there. We do that because we want this entire geometry connected. And then basically have to move the entire thing upwards about this distance. So I'm going to actually get another dimension here. I'm going to free select just to get a dimension. So it's about 1.9 or about 2 inches. I just want to move it just shy of that. So let's go ahead, edit geometry once again, move along the vertical axis. We're going to move it up 1 point, let's say 1.8. And then grab a window around your entire geometry and move it just so that these are within the bounds here and here. So if you consider this entire vertical axis your circumference, we just want to make sure that these notches on the ends of the bump stop can are within those bounds. Then if we zoom in close to where we connected these two pieces, we might see a break in this case here, and we're just going to go ahead and fill that break in using create geometry line. Make sure you're not in free select mode, then it'll snap to those points. Quick fix that. No, it's close here. There it is. So we got this situation here as well. I'm going to go ahead and create this line and then delete this one. It's a very minute change, but necessary change. Like I said, our software is not entirely designed for this kind of thing, but once you get to this point, all you have to do is assign the geometry in action. So we'll go to the Actions tab here, the cutting option, and we'll assign it a start cut. Now it doesn't matter where the lead in or lead out location is. Obviously it's going to hang on due to this gap in between the tabs here. So and that's basically it. As long as you have the right material selected with lead ins and lead outs, Obviously there's none selected for this, so you'll want to make sure that your lead-ins and lead-outs are applied. What is it, 0.4 of a second. We'll leave with a perpendicular cut. And it needs cutting information applied as well. Alright, so say you needed cutting information. I'm just going to put in some generic numbers that I know. Okay. So after that, you can see if you remove the geometry and recreate it with the start cut, you will see those lead ends applied. I'm going to go ahead and move that lead. I don't want it on the inside, obviously. It cuts. Alright, so if we cursor select the entire cut profile and then change our length to a negative length for both the start, the lead in and lead out, and then apply that, that will change the lead out location to the other side of the cutout. Once you're there, you can nest the part out on your stock length of tubing. Let's see if we got 12 feet. And the parts tab, you could just go ahead and add that in. And here it looks like it wants to assign the end cut. I'm going to go ahead and just drop that under the, or delete the action here. Okay. So now it just has the start profile, which is all we need. You can take this entire design and flip it if you'd like to have it cut from the other end. That's totally fine. Go ahead and remove this one. In that case, you would want to remove the start cut. And most likely move it down the length of the tube a bit so it's placed on there. With bump stop cans, it comes out a little like this is considered the end of the tube. This is considered the end of the cut profile, so it can be confusing. So yeah, once you get it on your stock length of tubing like that, you're ready to go ahead and run the project. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any other questions, our support staff is always ready to take your calls. Thank you.